Thank you, everyone, for joining me here on All Women Driven, the podcast all about women in automotive and how they got to where they are today. So, I am your host, Sarah Davis. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, or Spotify under either All Women Driven or Beauty Mama Bear. Don't forget to like and share from where you're listening. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know when I post my videos every other Thursday. If you like my channel, you may also like the Lon MacArthur Ford channel. Over there, I am also a host over there. I co-host with Tim Bartz. We go over all things Ford news and information on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. We also do a members live that I am a part of, help with some short content and other videos as well. And Tim has his complete guides and all the knowledge that you could think of on Fords. He also has his Ford Video Guide channel where he talks all about what he's doing to his vehicles. Go over there for a vlog-like adventure on his Bronco, Mach-E, and Maverick. There's also the RagnarCon. Go check his out. All Terrain Nation, some really good friends that go over all terrains of vehicles. And then Johnny's Car Care and Reviews for the Canadian side of what we do on the Lon MacArthur channel. All right, this week we have Jenna. Jenna, what do you do in automotive?
So I actually do a little bit of everything, I feel like. So since I got into automotive specifically with my Bronco, I've been doing content creation for myself, for Instagram, just for Bronco community. I've also been working with Ford merchandise. And then over the last about year, I've been working with a couple of my sponsors, doing photography for their parts and videos of their stuff on my vehicle specifically. So
Okay.
I get
So
around and I do.
You're kind of in the social media promoting side of things.
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. And you have a Bronco Sport.
Yes.
What year and what trim level?
So it's a 2023. It's one of actually the first 23s. I got it the first week of January.
Okay.
I had to wait 6 months. We were still in that waiting period. I know that's not what most people were waiting for their full-size Broncos, but I still did have to wait.
Yeah.
And it is a Big Bend.
Big Bend. Okay. And what have you done to it?
I could go on. It's shocking that when I bought it, and I just saw the photo the other day of it sitting in front of the dealership, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll do one or two things. No, last year I lifted it.
Okay.
Got the opportunity to do that, and then not too long after that, went with bigger tire size. So it's technically like a 29.9 30-inch tire. Biggest you can go on a Sport without cutting, at least for my modeling year. Got a roof rack on there so I can carry the accessories to get out. Max tracks on there and some fuel if I ever need it, or mainly for other people too, in case they need it. Okay. That's been the cases so far.
Yeah.
Most recently, I got my half wrap, which I'm really happy with, from Underground Graphics down in Texas. Exactly what I wanted. Something to not take away my paint color. I mean, I love Area 51, but keep with the black theme that I've sort of adapted. Also have a little bit of a Raptor thing going on.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen that. So we've kind of labeled it, me and a couple people, Team Spraptor.
Okay.
You're a Sport, but you're a Raptor, so you're a Spraptor.
I like that because you have the B Raptor. So Spraptor would be really good. Yeah. I like that.
So I have a couple special decals I've made personally, and then some I've picked up along the way, kind of code orange, and then blacked out my lettering. And then I have a couple things inside. I have the tack form mount on the dash. That's relatively new. And then I've been working with Yucca. They're out of California. I actually have the Mole panels on the seat backs in the back.
Okay.
And I can put anything up there, but they're actually metal.
Oh, that's nice.
But Yeah, so they
So,
actually
yeah.
bolt in,
Okay.
and so you've got even more space to store stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now is that your full time or do you have a full time job on top of this?
So I have a full time job on top of this. At my
Okay.
full time job, we like to joke when I'm not working, I'm working because I go
Yeah.
home and do all of these other things. I'm off adventuring or whatever that might be. But I work for a school district. I'm a one-to-one paraprofessional.
Okay. Awesome. I did that for a few months. I was an instructional assistant and then they didn't have funding for me. So I switched over to a one on one para. And there were some differences with the principal. Um,
And
she did
it's
not like
funny.
me. So she ended up making it so I couldn't work there for a few years.
Oh,
So I ended up here at the dealership, um, doing a bunch of different things since then, and I'm still here. So, but
it's
yeah,
crazy because
yeah,
I started out teaching physics,
okay,
and now I'm where I am and kind of see myself somewhere else in a couple years probably, and who
yeah.
knows where things will go.
So, do you have a teaching degree?
Yes,
Okay, that's awesome. What is your major for teaching?
physics.
Physics. Okay, that is a lot.
Yeah.
Physics was one of my favorites because it's math plus science. Um, Not the chemistry way, but a different way.
I agree with you in that too. I didn't
Yeah.
always get along with
Physics
the
makes
chemistry
sense.
teachers.
Chemistry does not make sense at all. So, how did you come into the automotive industry? Like, you bought your sport, but then you just kind of got into the community and you've jumped in? Is that how you got in?
So, I mean, growing up, my dad always had a background in cars and working on cars. And
Okay.
when I was looking for to buy my first car, because this is my first that I own outright, um, I was like, I want something that's suitable to me for camping, for adventuring, for distance travel, but also a daily.
Yeah.
And I learned to drive a Ford Escape. And
Okay.
so
Yep.
I was like, okay, that seems about right.
Yeah.
And now it comes back as like a joke because they're made on the same platform.
Yes.
And there's
Exactly.
some criticism of that where they're like, is the Sport a Bronco? Yes, it is.
It's
Um,
the branding. It's the
yes,
branding and the plan of what you're doing with it that makes it a
yes.
Bronco.
I would never
Um,
take my friend's
yeah,
Ford Escape places I have taken my sport.
exactly. I
Just
had a
wouldn't.
2012 Escape that I wrecked. Um, and I have wanted a 2012 Escape ever since. So yes,
It has
I
a
know
special
exactly what you
place.
mean. Yeah. Yeah.
So when I was in that time frame of looking to buy something, I was like, okay, I want this, but I don't want this at the same time. My dad owned, he had a Corvette and now he's got a Challenger, and I got him into a Ford, so I'm happy about that.
Yes.
But at the time, I was like, I think I want a Ford. So I went in the lot and looked, and I'm like, okay, I want this. And they're like, well, why don't you look at the Sport and then the full size Bronco? And at the
Yeah.
time, I was like, full size for me is too big. If you haven't met me, I mean, I haven't met you in person, but I'm barely 5 foot. So getting in and out of a full size Bronco is just not,
I get it.
that's not daily for me. I mean, I would love, but
Yeah.
it's just not.
I get it.
I
I
would
hop
need
in and out of
steps
Super
and
Duties and I'm just like, I hate
yeah.
this.
I'm like,
I
I
could
didn't
never own
ask
a
to do
Super Duty.
yoga like climbing into these things.
Ex-
But the space difference to me for the Sport over the Escape in that trunk area, that
mm-hmm.
did it for me.
Yeah.
And the appeal of like, this is meant to go on a trail, even if it's
Yeah.
just to get to your campsite. They
Yeah.
were advertising it to me as, hey, this is an adventure vehicle, even if you're not hardcore off roading. And at that point, I had never taken a vehicle off road.
Yeah.
So I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So I ordered one, and I didn't even get to test drive one. The one they had on the
Okay.
lot was an order. They were waiting for someone to come pick it up. So I could sit in it. I couldn't start it. I couldn't do anything.
Oh, yeah.
So then Turo became my friend. Got one on Turo, took it to the beach for a
That's
weekend.
I have never thought of that. Like to use Toro to test drive like that.
I mean, this
That's
was back
smart
in 2022.
when you could barely find them.
You could barely find anything. We were
Yep.
just getting out of this like COVID-esque state
Yes.
for daily living. And I'm like, I want to buy a car, but I need to drive the car.
Yes.
So I found one, and it was an Area 51. It was
Okay.
a Outer Banks, and had that for the weekend and absolutely loved it. Didn't
Yeah.
get to take it on the beach or anything, but I got the gist, I got the space, got to look at everything in detail and kind of almost more than a test drive.
Right.
And so I'm like, I can see myself in this. So I went through with ordering it.
Yeah.
Got to December, and they're like, okay, it's being built. And I'm like, yay. And then they
Yeah.
send me off rodeo. And I didn't, up
Yes.
to this point, my dealer didn't tell me that that was a thing.
Really?
No. I had never even seen, because I didn't have a VIN, I didn't have like a build sheet. I got the VIN, and then I got the like notification that it was being built like directly after.
Yeah.
So I didn't even see that build sheet. I just saw the way that it, like the dealer has it on paper. And so when
Okay.
I saw the build sheet, it was like, oh, off rodeo. And I was like,
Yep.
what's this? And then a couple of days later, I got the email. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to sign up for this. This is cool. Like,
Yeah.
didn't know that they had this program. I went 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And I went to Moab in December of 22
Okay.
before I even took delivery of it.
So question, have you met Melissa?
Yes.
Okay.
Melissa is on the wall behind me. On the poster. I will stand up
Yes.
for this. Melissa
Which
is
one
on
is
the
it?
wall. So that is a poster that AJ, who is AutoNation Illustration on Instagram, he made
Yeah.
an all sport poster.
Right. So which sport does Melissa have up there?
So that is Rocky.
That's Rocky. Okay.
Yes.
Now I have to buy that poster.
Yeah.
I used AJ for my stickers and whatnot. So yep.
He gets
I know
a
exactly
penny
where to go find that.
everywhere.
I have another poster up at my desk. It's all just stickers, patches, and all these conglomerate things. People come by and go, "What's going on here?" Oh, those are my friends. Your friends? These are all from different people. Uh-huh. They're my
They're all
Instagram
my
friends.
friends, trust me.
Yeah. If I were to meet them in real life, I know that they are going to be a friend to me. Like that's just how this is working out in the Bronco community.
Basically everyone you meet.
Yeah. The community is amazing. I saw your posts about you making your wall and I love it. I love your wall.
I'll back out for a second.
I love it. It's amazing. And you're going to run out of room, just like I have.
I'm gonna what?
Run out of room.
Oh,
Need to
well,
put
this is
more up and-
happening because the Bronco ran out of room.
Yeah.
And the cooler ran out of room. And the Go Box ran out of room. And
Yep.
keep meeting more people.
Right. I need to send you my patch. I don't know if Tim
I
got
did
you
get
one.
one.
You got one? Okay.
I have the one that's in color from Tim. I think
Okay.
Tim gave it to me. Somebody
Perfect.
gave it to me.
Probably my mom. I heard she was going around saying, "This is my daughter." I
Did
love
she
her.
have a
She's
full
amazing.
box of them?
Yes.
Then that was her. Because they
Yeah.
were, she was with Tim in we did it the All-Terrain Nation booth.
Yes.
And they were like right there.
Yeah. That was my mom. We look very
I've
similar.
met your
if you see
mom
us
and not you.
side to side. So onwards, you said your family's been in automotive. What did your dad do?
So he's been big into cars since he was little.
Okay.
And my grandfather, who unfortunately passed away right before I was born, He was as well and had some older vehicles. I mean, my dad's got plates and all the emblems of all sorts of vehicles, but does
Okay.
all the work himself, just
Yeah.
hardworking.
Yeah.
He's never had, per se, an automotive job, but he has a CDL, he drove trucks.
Okay.
Now he does grounds for the school district. He's outside all day,
Okay.
driving vehicles everywhere, doing everything, manual labor. That's his thing.
Okay.
But growing up around that, him working on everything, I saw how things are done. Like, we did the brakes on my sport together, so we have like a bonding thing.
Okay. So he help you do all of your mods?
Not all of them.
Did you do some of them, or are some of
Yes.
them okay?
Most of them
So
are me.
are
Like
any of them at like
90%.
an actual shop, or are they all put on by you and your dad?
So some of them I've done in a shop, but like I'm like, hey, I'm helping you. I'm
Okay.
not letting you do all of this. I
So
want to
that you
know
know
so
what
when
to do.
something breaks, I know how to fix it.
Yes.
Um, but either that or me and some friends, like I one of my sponsors, his name's Joe, and he has a shop in New Jersey, and so we do
Okay.
days that are install days. Anybody can
Okay.
bring anything they want, and we all kind of just help each other. There's nothing, no cost, no.
I wish I lived closer. That sounds like a lot of fun. Like
It
I wish
is.
I could learn a lot doing a day like that. That would be so much fun.
Like, I was so nervous when we put my lights on. I did the, well, there's a whole story that goes with that. I killed my battery. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
When I went to put the ditch lights on, the brackets, the hood needed to be essentially realigned because you had to take
Okay.
one side off and take the two bolts off from what's holding it in place, slip this bracket underneath, and then put
Mhm.
it flush. But you
Okay.
needed someone to hold it, kind of someone to put the bracket in
Right.
while you're doing the thing and making sure that
Right.
stays in place. So it was kind of
Right.
like a 4 or 5 hand thing. And I was like, I'm definitely not doing this with just two
Yeah.
people in case. So I
Mhm.
ended up doing that there with some friends, and
That's awesome.
but now I know where everything goes. And I know that even though I taught physics for 2 years and took umpteen physics classes, don't come to me for electronics. Don't
I
come
get
to
it.
me. I got a trigger for it's a wireless trigger system for the
Okay.
switch overhead switches. And I installed that kind of the wrong way. So it was wired to the battery, positive, negative,
Okay.
and then you had this lead that could be switched on and off, or you could do it directly to your battery. Well, I did it directly to the battery, thinking it's not going to drain the battery. It's a newer vehicle. They even say so in the instructions, like, you can do it this way. I didn't test my battery to see what value my battery was running. And it was okay for a day. I had to jump it. And I was like, okay, I should probably just disconnect and start over. Next day, maybe it was 2 days, one of those wires, when I disconnected everything, I just disconnected that yellow wire that was the this is live and kept
Right.
everything powered so it wouldn't activate. One of those wires got left against the ground on the frame
Oh my
and
gosh.
was arcing, but nobody knew. And so when I went under the hood to figure out what was going on, you weren't seeing it, but it was happening when the hood was down with where that was placed. And so I
Yep.
killed that battery. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then got a new battery. Ended up getting a
Okay.
bigger battery, which is better for
Yeah.
this purpose. Wired it up the same way I originally had it, and we're golden. But
That
you live
battery
and you
just couldn't
learn.
handle it.
No.
No. Oh,
And
see, and
I've done electrical after that. Like, I ran the Midland wiring and everything, but
yeah.
that was lesson learned.
See, and I've wanted to like work on my own vehicle. I actually had an instance recently where my C-Max flipped out on me. I went to go open my hybrids. All Ford hybrids have this weird little thing where the fuel door has to be opened from the inside with a button. You cannot open it from the outside.
Is
So you
that just
can't
like a
open the fuel door.
safety?
Huh?
Is it just a safety mechanism?
Yeah, I'm guessing it is. I'm not sure why Ford does it on every single hybrid, Maverick hybrid, Escape hybrid, C-Max Fusion. It's all the same way with all of their hybrids. They have a button to push to open the fuel door, and it's really annoying because for at least my C-Max, it has to be on. So, when you get out of the car, you're supposed to turn it off to go fuel it. Well, if I forget to open that door, I have to go back around, start my car, push the fuel door, then get out, wait for it to pop open. Well, that time I tried pressing it before it was fully on, and I think I glitched it, and it refused to open.
Oh
So I'm
God.
like, no, I'm at 30 miles to empty. Crap. So I drive it here to the dealership where my husband also works, and I'm like, it won't open. It won't open. And he goes, huh, let's see. And he pushes the button and it worked. I'm like, I haven't turned it off. I haven't turned it on. Like, I did nothing in between me driving here or that happening
To
and me driving here.
change.
Apparently, me driving is what caused it to be like, okay, we're good now.
I
But
have
then
that
I went,
happen
I
when I
went and
fill
fueled
up
it.
sometimes.
Yeah, but I went to go fuel it, and I turned it off. I had the door open. I went and fueled it. Got back in. Engine light pops on.
Just
I'm
keeps
like,
getting
what
better.
now? So we go to our tech buddy. I'm like, what did I do? And he's like, most likely it's that two-door system on it, the capless fill door. And he's like, just take this funnel, stick it in there, and see if both doors are closed. Because most likely it didn't seal properly. So I did that, and it took a day, but it finally went away. And that was it.
I had to
Yeah.
get my water pump replaced.
Okay.
And even after it was replaced, when the heat comes on, it doesn't blow like aggressive
Yeah.
the way that it did before the issue. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
well, you have heat. And I'm like, I do have heat. And then they're like, well, you have heat.
Right. Well, long story short with mine, I want to my husband's like, just drop it off and have service do it, take care of it, figure it out. And I'm like, okay, but if it makes this sound again or the engine light comes on after I fill it up, I want to be able to handle this myself. I want to know what's wrong and I want to be able to fix it so then I don't have to go to a shop where I don't work. You know, if I'm traveling, because right
Yeah.
now I get employee discounts. So it's really nice. But if I'm traveling, I want to be able to take care of this myself so I'm not, getting hundreds of dollars in service work done
Yes.
because diagnostics are expensive.
I carry a reader with me now. I learned that lesson the hard way twice.
Yeah.
One time on a trail, and
Right?
one time I had to get towed out of a parking
Okay.
lot.
Yeah. So,
My
do you have sorry.
my ECU got corroded, and so I'm on the
Oh,
highway doing like 80,
okay.
just dropping, dropping, dropping. And I didn't have the reader with me. So I had no idea, and I get engine light. And it's like, turn off engine now.
Yeah.
So I just pull out, like, the exit's there. I pull into a parking lot. I'm like, okay, I guess here I am, wait for a roadside. Next day, they're like, yeah, you got mud where you shouldn't have. And it caused corrosion. And
Oh no.
I had to pay for them to clean it out. Now I know.
Mhm.
And when they plugged it in, they're like, it was obvious. Everything was tracing back to the ECU for the error code.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like big, major error code, and then everything was like sub under it. And I'm like, yeah, if I would have seen that, I probably could have figured that out.
Yep.
And the ECU on the Sport is in a dumb spot, so right in front of the driver's side tire.
Love it. Yep. So, do you have any side hobbies or gigs besides the off-roading and adventuring that you do?
So during COVID, I learned how to bake.
Okay.
So I was bored, needed something to do.
Yeah.
I was student teaching during COVID. So I'm like, I
Okay.
really need something to do to get away from all of the schooling. I mean, it was
Yeah.
helpful, but and I learned how to make sugar cookies from scratch. And so some of my friends who stayed with me at Supercell got to taste that. And they're like, "Can we mail cookies to Texas?" I'm like, I don't think it's that simple, but so I do
Yeah,
that on
there's
the
a
side
way.
for events and if people reach out to me, but it's not like anything serious.
Yeah.
Time consuming too.
Yep. My husband and I love to bake. I have a sourdough starter, and I love to bake bread, but I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and it takes a lot of dishes to cook, and
That
I have
too.
no time to do the dishes. So therefore I don't cook at this point.
And I feel like when I make something, whether I'm making cupcakes or anything else, I get like one and the
Yeah.
rest go to people. And I'm like, I should be getting most of them. I did all the work.
Yeah. Have you tried creme brulee?
No, I haven't. I mean, I love to eat it, but I've never made
It's
it.
actually more simple than you think.
Okay.
My husband has become an expert at making creme brulee. So I'll like walk in at like 5 p.m. He gets off at 3:30. I walk in and he's like, "I made creme brulee." I'm like, "You did what?"
How
You
fast?
okay? Dessert, I guess. So, but yeah, nope. Baking is a lot of fun. Um, so would you move over to a different vehicle, or is Ford your preference now?
I think Ford's my preference now. I mean, it was where I wanted to get into only because of the brand and American made for the most part and all those different
Mm-hmm.
things. But now I'm in Bronco. And then within the last, I mean, even going to, so I went to the Ford Performance opener in January
Okay.
and seeing everything they're doing performance line for everything. I mean, I was happy Rocky was there. I was
Yep.
shocked that Rocky was even there. I was expecting to go and see Bronco, see Ranger, see F
Yep.
150, see all the Mustangs.
Yeah.
And then Rocky was there. And I was like, wow. And then I got to see Melissa and Brian there, which I hadn't seen them in a couple months, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
They're our favorite people here.
they're in the top of the list.
They're amazing.
But I feel like I've been sucked into more than just Bronco and off roading, but like every type of experience that Ford's providing owners, whether you're in the off roading, you're in the racing, whatever you're into, there is something. It
Yeah.
just is. And I'm like, I'm not seeing that elsewhere. And I appreciate
Right.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
if I didn't own a Bronco, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be going on adventures I'm going on. I'd be doing semi average vacations.
Now, do you find that the Bronco community is very welcoming, like I do?
I would say 99% of the time.
Yeah.
And I have that
There's a
one like
straggler.
smidge. And it's not even like a no, but I don't even know what's going on in social media realm. Like I don't even understand this enough to know what it means. I just ignore it at this point. That like because I own a Bronco Sport that I don't have money or something, like that I
Huh.
made the wrong like there's comments that I get that are like off the chain
Really?
just because it's a Bronco Sport and I'm like if I had a full-size Bronco, you wouldn't be saying that.
Right. That is odd.
I
Because I haven't
know.
heard those comments before. And Tim is doing all of his Bronco mods with like the cheapest things that he can find. Cheap but backed. Like they're good
Yeah.
products. It's just that, they're not the most expensive. It's
I get that too. Like I have a lift kit. It's from brand A. I want a lift kit from brand B. They look
right.
identical. But because
Yes.
Brand A is rough country, you're going to say that I should never take my vehicle off road.
Right. That's exactly what Tim's getting. Somewhat, but that is odd because and I always hear sport isn't an actual Bronco, and it's like no, it is.
And then
Have you
Dave and
met
Kelly just
Melissa?
went
Have
out.
you? I always go. Have you heard of Rebel Rally? And they're like, well, no. I'm like, I want you to go look up Rebel Rally Melissa Clark and tell
Yes,
me the sport is not a Bronco. Tell me that. Go watch her videos. Go do that. Then come back to me. We'll talk later.
exactly. And
Like
I
it
can't let you
can
bring her up again without saying where I met her. Because where
right.
I met her basically started everything for me.
Okay.
So I had my sport in January.
Okay.
Did off rodeo, all that. And work and everything that goes on. That was like first year, second year out of college, whatnot, just getting things settled. August was my first official Bronco event. I went to Woodward
Okay.
and met Melissa there on day one of Woodward at
Okay.
Hollyoaks.
Yeah.
And everyone who is from there knows Mount Magma. They were taking all the Broncos up that, and I'm like, I'm pulling to the side. I'm the only sport there. I'm like, I don't belong. Let me just go
Yeah.
over here. She's like, no, 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 no. You come over here, and we're gonna take you up the side of it. So there's like a dip that you go down and then up. And I'm like, I can't do that. And she's like, but you can go up. You just avoid the dip part. So there's like a bit to the side. And she walked me right up it. And I was like, well, I'm hooked now. Like I did
Right.
it my own
Yeah.
at that point. And that from that day on, it's been like, okay, where can I go? What can I do?
Yeah.
And Bronco Nation was doing like sport drives, and I was following Melissa back up to Michigan, New Hampshire, all over the place.
Right. So I met her in Colorado, and we were just talking. We went to the like Bronco Nation meet and greet. First evening. They had just set up. They were doing pizza. We were there, and Tim and I get recognized sometimes, but we found like we used to sit a certain way. Like I was on this side and he's on this side, but we found that if we swapped places in real life and we're talking to people, they wouldn't catch on to who we were at first, especially if he's wearing a hat. But then people would go, I know you from somewhere. And we would like swap places and they go, yes, that's it. I know exactly who you are.
That's so weird.
But her husband came over and was like, I know you two. And we swapped places and he's like, yeah, you guys. And he's like, Melissa, I've told you about these guys. These are the guys I was talking about who talk about Ford. And so then we went on all their drives with them that week. We went on like 3 or 4 drives with them. And she had said, do we have any Bronco Sports? I'm like, Bronco Sports? Like, because at that time I didn't know how
Yeah.
capable the Bronco Sport was. But she's like, yeah, if we have any Bronco Sports, we're going to take this other trail just for Clarence' sake. It's the same difficulty
Mm-hmm.
level as the other one up the same mountain. It's just this one has better clearance for the Bronco Sport so that they can actually get through it. And I'm like, okay. And so then he told me who she was. And I was like, oh, Rebel Rally. And so then I looked her up, looked at what was going on, and I found out how amazing she is as a driver and what she can do at the Bronco Sport. And I'm like, I'm never doubting a sport again, and I'm going to definitely go after the naysayers and be like, stop.
Well, I will always
So she is
appreciate it.
amazing.
She is.
So, uh, so who or what inspires you going into this?
That's a loaded question. That's almost like interview question. I'm like, let me think about it.
I get that. It's kind of a surprise question I have. I tend to catch people off guard with that one.
I guess in a sense, like I haven't talked about this yet, but I'm doing a rally this summer.
Okay.
And almost myself, like the thing I was talking about with some friends not too long ago was like, it's more than just about the vehicle that you're in and what your vehicle can do. It's also the driver.
Yep.
Day one, me in a Bronco Sport going to the same place that I'm going now. Yes, I have more clearance. I have different mods, things like that. I'm also 10 times more experienced than I was then.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to keep gaining more experience. And someday I'll not be in a Bronco Sport. It'll be in something else or a different Bronco Sport. And that won't
Mm-hmm.
matter. It's about what I've done mentally, physically, driving off road, all those experiences kind of like pushing me to keep going and doing more.
Yeah. I love that.
I mean,
Have you
also the
thought about
community itself, too. I mean,
yes. The
there's certain
community is
people I
amazing.
see and I'm like, I know they're going to put something out that's going to make me laugh. Or every time I
Yep.
see them, I'm like, I haven't seen you in a year. Why don't we hang out more? And they live
Yeah.
in Texas and I live in Philly. And so it's
Like, I
just
wish
not
we hung
doable.
out more. Yeah. So have you thought about doing Rebel Rally?
I have. It's a big commitment.
It is. It's 10 days without, your own or without technology. I've
Which
thought
I
about
could
it.
do that.
Huh?
I said I could do that part. The no tech part
Right.
is fine for me. Like
You got navigation down?
we're gonna prove that this summer, maybe. But I mean, no tech and like I know some people are like, I need my
Yeah.
phone just to have my phone. And I'm like,
Okay.
I think I grew up early enough that I like missed that.
1 second. It's getting loud in here. All right, they're quieting down.
um. So yeah, I
Sorry.
think I missed that a little bit. And there was a group chat for Super Celebration like before we even booked. I mean, maybe we booked houses, but like who was going, who's not going, and what's going on. And right before it was time for Super Cell, I was like, you know what? I don't understand that joke. And I'm like, the reason I don't understand the joke is because I'm the youngest one in this group chat. And now
I
everyone's
get that
like,
so often.
let's not talk about who can't be Jen or who can be Jenna's mom or dad. Who can't be? And there's
Mm-hmm.
like one person that's like, yeah, I can't be your mom. But I'm pretty young, so I have plenty of
Yeah.
time.
Well,
But
Melissa's
back to the question,
convincing me. Yeah.
I would love to. I'd need a different job to get that kind of time off.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the summers off, which is amazing, and I get days in here and there and long weekends.
That's right. Yeah,
But
it's during
that
the school
time,
year.
same with someone asked me. There's a similar kind of shortened, abbreviated version called the Artemis Rally.
Okay.
And so Rebel is the first week of my school year, or the second week, depending on Labor
Mm-hmm.
Day. The Artemis is the second to last week of school.
Oh my gosh. Which are blackout days.
Yeah, like I can't, there's nothing
Yeah.
I can
Like,
do
do you
about
guys
that.
have blackout days where, you have this
Yes.
much time where you're not allowed to take time off?
You're not
Yeah.
allowed to take, like, only
Supercell
certain.
Colorado is in those black off days for my mom. My mom's a teacher, and Supercell Colorado is always in those blackout days.
So
So she
this
can't
year,
take them.
technically, Supercell was, but because I took off for it last year, they know. But
Right.
you're not supposed to take off, like, the Friday or Monday. Like, say it's a 3-day weekend, you're not supposed to make it a 4-day weekend. Or if
Right.
it's a 4-day weekend, not try to make it a 5-day weekend. But a certain number of people are allowed in the district,
Right.
and
Yeah.
sometimes you make it happen.
Yep.
And you can't take
Yeah.
too many sick days, or you need a note, stuff like that.
Yeah, I get that. Well, if I ever get into navigation, I'm trying to get into it, but I'm trying to get out there. If you ever get a chance to go, let me know.
Maybe someday.
Right? Um so how do you think we can encourage more women to get into this community?
I think the more that we show people that we're capable and kind of don't back down, the
Mhm.
more influential that is on people. I mean, seeing what Melissa's doing seeing what Shelby Hall's doing right now. Her
Yes.
own team and all of that. Like, I've been following that and just
Mhm.
seeing people that not only go out and do stuff, but are down to earth when they talk to you. Like, I've met Shelby in January, and I'm like, you're exactly what I expected you to be. You
Yep.
give me a hug, a smile, and we chat for 10 minutes and
Yeah.
makes your day, week,
Yeah.
month,
Have you
whatever.
heard of
Like,
Sumid?
yes, and I'm not sure where I'm placing that name.
So she is an automotive journalist who has been in automotive since 88, but
Okay.
she is in off-road racing as well. She doesn't do rebel. She lets others take on that challenge. But she goes all over the world, not just the country, but all over the world and races. And she's pretty amazing. I did a interview with her last month, I
Maybe
think.
that's where I'm placing it.
Yeah, but it's pretty amazing to see these women that I had no idea existed. It's interesting to start diving into these areas and learning that there's these women that have been here for, like, Sue Mead's been here since 88, pushing and striving and, breaking through things, um, just making it easier for women in automotive.
Exactly. Like, you see
Yeah.
someone's going and doing that, and then you see what they're doing. They take the
Yeah.
time to just talk to you. You
Yeah.
feel heard, you get some sort of advice that pushes you to go do the next great thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, now which rally did you say you were doing again?
So I am doing, and it's a long winded, they should really abbreviate it. It's called the Nomad Overland Virtual Adventure Rally.
Okay.
If we want
That is
to, I
awesome.
don't even know what that abbreviates to.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll check in with you then. Maybe we can do a video chat or a small little interview afterwards. Go over how you
Yeah.
did and everything, and talk to you at that point.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That starts
Awesome.
in 3 weeks ish. Like, I'm still in school and it's still at work when it starts, but then
Yeah.
that goes into August. So like each week there
Okay.
are different kind of objectives, goals, where you go, what you do. But
Yeah.
there's someone competing in Europe. You don't even have
That's
to like. Someone's competing in California. I'm in PA. I don't even have to leave my state if I don't want to, or I
that
can
that's
drive wherever I
amazing.
want. Yeah.
I need to look into that.
And I heard about it from someone who did it last year in a Bronco.
Well,
And
I
that's the
I
only
need to.
reason I know about it.
Sounds like I need to steal my dad's Bronco and get signed up.
That would be cool.
It
Still
would be
time.
funny each week. Hey, Dad, how's it going? What are you doing here? Nothing. And he just hears the
Just in the
rumble of his
bar.
car as I take off. No, most likely he'd want to go with me. But yeah, that's awesome. We will definitely check in with you afterwards and see how you did, how
Yeah.
you do.
I don't know. I
So
mean, I know what to expect, but I'm like still not knowing what to expect because you don't have
yeah,
the exact outline of like this week we'd like you to see you cover these types of challenges, but you
yeah,
don't know until Monday morning.
right. So it's kind of like Rebel, but on a larger scale and virtual, and where you
Yeah.
can do it. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely touch base with you later on. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you
It's
for
been
having me.
wonderful to talk to you.
I know, finally.
All right. Well, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for joining me for another week of All Women Driven. Join me in join me next time for another episode where we go look into the past to drive women forward in the future. Have a wonderful day.